So now what we are going to discuss is further queries. Okay. So now the next question is, where should I start if I don't have any programming background? So can you little bit give what exactly you are expecting?
Okay, see, I have a management background, Vijay.
Okay.
I have many years, almost 20 years of pure management background.
Okay.
So now if I want to get into cloud, what is that? Where is that I have to start? Because I have zero programming knowledge. When we attended the previous session, you were talking about you need to have basic Linux knowledge, some programming,
See, basic...
some programming knowledge or something like that. So I have nothing. Will I be able to cope up? Now that's a question everybody will have, right? If I'm going to refocus or restart my career into something else, will I be able to understand? Will I be able to move ahead? So that is the question I had there.
Okay, see, going forward, most of the management roles already converted. Most of the management role, if you are really going to manage the technical team, you should have the core technical knowledge also. Correct? So if you ask me, most of the time I used to say you need to have, if you are going to handle say DevOps and cloud projects, especially on this domain, around this domain, either security or most of the management related technical role. So you need to have very good understanding on administration, and if you are going to focus on Azure, then go for Azure. If you are going to focus on AWS, go for AWS. But I would prefer try to explore both clouds, because one project may be Azure, another project may be AWS.
AWS, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I would suggest to go with both whenever your time permits. Okay. So and another one is automation. So when comes into automation, right now the market really started going towards these two tools. So if you have Linux admin knowledge, then learning Ansible and Terraform is really easy. See, almost we are going for a complete shift, technology shift. Okay, so now most of the people they are really struggling to move this shift, but I would really suggest you learn from the basic with the hands-on. But remember, for our senior role, we are not at all going to do any hands-on.
Okay.
We are maybe going to manage the show, or we are going to do a consulting, or we are going to do a solution. But I would really prefer to go with hands-on. Why? Because if you do more hands-on basic and confident, then only you can propose very, very strongly whatever you are saying, giving the options, right? So those options can be a concrete one. If you are not confident on the hands-on, whatever you propose, I don't think it is going to be work out. Because these days, most of the clients side, they are too much technical.
True.
Right?
Correct.
So Ansible and Terraform, and then DevOps. So in this DevOps, there is a CI/CD pipeline. So you can explore Jenkins one, because Jenkins is open source. You can do it in your own laptop itself. Okay, and then the microservices, which is the Docker Kubernetes.
Okay.
Docker Kubernetes. So I would really suggest Docker Kubernetes plus as a senior. Okay, these are the concept you learned. So from this concept, you need to start project yourself as a technical consultant or technical solution manager. So basically, how to, I'm just giving a few examples, how to design one complete architecture.
Okay.
Using this cloud, using Ansible tool. So whatever you are creating architecture, those complete architecture can be implemented using Ansible, can be implemented using Terraform. Simple as that.
Okay.
So in this complete architecture, you need to have a pipeline. Whenever you say task one, the task one should not be manual, should be automated using the DevOps CI/CD pipeline. So whatever you are creating an architecture, so the architecture is requires say 50 machines, 50 compute. So those 50 compute should be underlined Docker Kubernetes technology. So that is the reason I am most of the time advising this skill set is really mandatory. Yeah. So you go with the hands-on, but as a senior person, don't stick with the concept. Because these are the basic concept.
Yeah.
The basic concept may help for fresher to till say 6 to 7 years experience. But above 12 or above some very senior level, learn the concept, apply this concept in complete architectures.
Okay.
How one architecture can use all this. Okay. We will just go for one simple one. I will explain. AWS, say architectures. So we will go with one architecture. If you ask me, I used to learn like this only. So there are a lot of architecture. So take one architecture. So I'm opening the image. So in this architecture, okay, this is the complete architecture. So come back to your skill set. So you have a Linux, right? So in this architecture, where and all you need a machine, there is an instance. So this machine can be a Linux machine, correct?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Possibly.
So you need now you already have a Linux knowledge, so you can easily handle here, this part provisioning. And right now we are selecting the AWS architecture, correct? So the similar way you can go for Azure architecture also. So in this complete architecture, if you know this is AWS, so AWS means in AWS you should know what is NAT gateway and similar functionalities, and what is VPC, and what is S3 bucket, what is the EC2 instance, what is the RDS, Aurora database. And so that is where I said you need to learn cloud. So now, why I need Ansible and Terraform? Go back to the architecture. So in production, right now the mandatory is you should apply this knowledge, not for manual. How do you implement this architecture? No one previously we used to manually create everything, but nowadays I need to create one Terraform script. And if I execute the Terraform script or CloudFormation script or Chef script or Ansible, mostly I won't prefer provisioning for Ansible scripts. So Terraform only. So if I execute Terraform, the complete, whatever I'm seeing in this diagram, it should implement. Now you understand why I need to learn Ansible and Terraform?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now
that saves a lot of time.
Yes, because still I remember during the older days, if we want to implement some DR, we used to travel to DR location. All the tape backups, everything already delivered on a daily basis or frequency. We used to retrieve the information, data, and within 72 hours, it depends on the project. Within 72 hours, we need to build and show it got recovered. Okay. So right now, 72 hours, even we don't have a patience to go for 1 hour.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to replicate immediately to some other location. What exact I was having, some earthquake or during some mesh, or I want to expand my business. But within few seconds, the similar infrastructure has to be converted there. So that is where these tools are really playing a very crucial role. Okay, if you ask me, if you are going to be a technical solution manager or a senior person, whatever implementation, it should happen via scripts only, via this code only. That restriction nowadays, most of the clients, they are started implementing. Why? Because here and there, bits and pieces, if you start implement manually, tomorrow if you want to do or recover or reinvent, it will be a huge mess. Okay, now people are started asking why I need CI/CD Jenkins. Go back to your architecture. So in this, there is a users are accessing. Whenever the users are accessing the DNS, automatically it is coming to here, right? So they are basically uploading some file or accessing some file or manipulating it. We don't know, but it depends on the workflow. The moment one action happened, it related to another action also should be triggered. Correct?
Correct.
So do you think if these users are accessing early morning 1 o'clock, do you think manually this is every time is possible? Previously it was like this, but now I don't think. So you need to create a pipeline for each and every workflow. That is where we need this knowledge.
Okay.
Okay. So now Docker Kubernetes, in this architecture, wherever you need the compute or any area, okay. Nowadays, people are going away from using the virtual machine concepts. People are going for Docker Kubernetes concepts, containerization, basically a containerization. So now you tell me, learning all this, applying for minimum 40 to 50 architecture idea, which makes sense. So without knowing all this concept with the hands-on, how do you understand this diagram?
Correct. Now that takes me to my next question. See, okay, this architecture, it's just a sample architecture from an AWS, right? So now I don't have access to any of the architecture in my current role. So how do I get more information about these architectures?
So you need to start do a lot of brainstorming session. You need to do a lot of brainstorming architecture. You need to join and argue. This is where people are missing. Most of the people, they are saying, I'm not getting much opportunities. I learned all this. You learned all this, but you are not applying to what exactly need for business. So you need to take one architecture. Whatever you learn, simple. This is why I put it in a notepad. I'm showing in a reality. You learned all this, but you are not applying what exactly the project need. This is the project need. Maybe this architecture may be a different architecture for another project. If wherever you go, each project, each deliverable having a different architecture. But the more you apply all the learning, this is ABCD. Basically, if you ask me, this is a simple ABCD. This is a bitter truth. But this ABCD should be applied in each architecture.
Correct.
Okay, there are a lot of case studies also is there. There are a lot of technical meetups also available. So we need to participate. But before participate, you should know how to configure a VPC. In each VPC, how to configure, how to restrict, how to isolate, everything you need to have it in hands-on. Forget about people going with theory just for clear the interview. They are not going to survive in the market most of the time. They will end up with stress. What I need to learn, what I need to learn. So if you want to run with confidence, go in this path.
Okay. Learn, fail fast, and grow.
Yes. Okay. So now you understand very clearly here.
Yeah. So now my sorry.
Go ahead.
So now my next question is, see now the system requirement, like you were saying, we need a basic system, right?
Okay.
Like a
so we'll go one by one. So you understand this? Why we need to learn all this? Okay. Now for Linux administration, okay, you need one server and one client Linux machine.
Okay.
Okay. And AWS, you need to have cloud account.
Okay.
Okay. And cloud account. And I want to explore, say, some kind of automation. So I need a hub.docker.com.
Okay.
.com, and I need a travisci.com, and I need a some kind of Ansible knowledge or Terraform knowledge to perform some automation scenario or some CloudFormation knowledge.
Okay.
Either way, either Ansible or Terraform or CloudFormation knowledge. So, but during this, if you don't know Ansible and Terraform, wait. Once you learned, you explore this part.
Okay.
Say, for example, using Ansible, how to create a mission. Using Ansible, how to create a S3 bucket. Using Ansible, how to create each service, single service, so that you make yourself as a confident on automation.
Okay.
Then for Ansible also and Terraform also, you need one server and one client. Okay, we need one server and one client. And DevOps and CI/CD Jenkins also, we need one server. There is a one server for Jenkins. You can call it as Jenkins, and one server for Nexus, and one server for Artifactory. I will just do a word wrap. So Artifactory, and one server for Tomcat, and you need a Slack account if you want to explore how to create a trap, and you want one monitoring server. Monitoring server to integrate. So like this, you can expand. And if you want to integrate with your AWS, you need a AWS account. You need to explore with a Docker. You need a Docker machine. You need to explore with Kubernetes. You need a Kubernetes machine. This is how I used to prefer to learn CI/CD Jenkins. Okay, and Docker Kubernetes, minimum you need one server and two client. Okay, so each machine should be 2 CPU and 4 GB RAM.
What does 2 CPU mean?
You need to make sure the machine you are creating minimum 2 CPU.
Means is there a 2 CPU means?
Yeah,
I'm not clear.
In cloud, when you create, it will ask how much CPU you want to have that machine.
Oh, okay.
So even people are started asking, many of the people, where do I need to buy a huge configuration machine? No, you can go for some Google Cloud, which is completely free. You can achieve all this lab in Google Cloud itself.
Okay.
As a free of cost. So you can achieve all this in Google Cloud as a free of cost.
So we need to just create a Google Cloud account.
You need to just create a Google Cloud account. That's it.
Okay.
Are you clear in this?
Yeah. So sorry, again, I'm going back to this thing. So now I don't have a laptop. Okay, I only use a office laptop. So I can't definitely be using that for my learning. So if I need to buy a laptop, so i5, 4 GB RAM, and what else is required? How much? What's the
no, i5 4 GB RAM? No, i5 8 GB RAM.
8 GB RAM, okay.
With one good Wi-Fi enabled. That is more than enough.
And the hard disk capacity?
No, that we are not going to do anything in the local, right? We are going to do everything in the cloud.
Okay.
I need minimum 2 to 3 browser, because one browser I will do, another browser I use to test.
Okay.
Your local hard disk, you are not going to do any manipulation. Everything going to be in cloud only.
Okay.
And
okay. Wi-Fi, 8 GB RAM, and with
yes.
2 browser. Okay, fine.
Okay.
So I have to look at a capacity.
So now you are clear about what you need to carry out all these learnings, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will you be sharing this notepad with us?